Hello everyone, Jason Killingsworth, founder of Tune and Fairweather here. It's been a little while since the last update, so I wanted to let you know where things stand with You Died. So when I gave the last timeline, the 23rd of April was the date at which there was supposed to be a truck backing up to the loading bay of our printer and filling up with books to head our way. However, that has not happened. It's the 30th of April today. However, work has not ground to a halt due to COVID-19, but some of the pieces have shifted. The primary reason for the delay on the timeline is actually because of the further work that we wanted to do on the cover. As you might recall, we weren't entirely happy with the depth of the impression that we were getting on the deboss from the first stamping test. So we went back to the printer and asked them what else we could try. They were somewhat pessimistic. However, we pushed them to investigate our options, and they told us that they could try changing the construction of the brasses that actually do the stamp from a magnesium material to an actual physical brass metal alloy. So we did a second round of stamping tests, which we just got yesterday, and I've got those right here, and we are so excited by how these turned out. This is exactly what we were hoping at the very start, when you have that vision in your mind that you're hoping you can execute on in reality. We were nervous there for a second that we weren't going to hit that exact bar that we had set. However, these look absolutely beautiful, and we have approved this with the printer. So they've been working in the background just so the entire factory isn't ground to a halt. They have been continuing to do some of the binding work that needs to happen before you actually put the cover on. So sewing together the signatures, the folded and gathered pages of the book interior. So that's been going along, and now that this is signed off, we're ready to start assembling the books. However, the snag that we've run into with the COVID-19 situation is that it affects some of the versions of the book. The standard editions, which are the cloth editions, these are not affected because our printer does all of this work in-house in their bindery. However, the part that they have to use an outsword, it's like a sword that you get from outside, I don't know. So the thing that they need to rely on outside vendors for is the genuine leather edition, and so that is temporarily on hold. That vendor has had to close their doors, not forever, but temporarily, because of the business closures related to the situation there in Italy. So unfortunately, we don't have an update on when the genuine leather version will get back into production. Fortunately, that affects very few of you who will be watching this video. And then the sustainable leather edition, or faux leather edition, they are doing that work in-house. However, we're going to have page edge gilding on that, so the sides of the pages are going to be covered in silver foil, and the vendor that does the gilding, they are also temporarily closed. So we'll not be able to finish those copies for a little while, and fingers crossed that things get back online soon on those. However, the good news again is that the black and white cloth, which makes up the vast majority of the orders, is continuing to move forward and should be done in the next week and a half. Then we will be shipping those, and I'll give you an update when that takes place. But it means we'll need to do a staged shipment where some items will follow behind. We don't want to keep everyone waiting until everything is done. So we're going to send out what we can so we can try to be as prompt as possible, since we acknowledge that we're already moving beyond the estimated time window that we set for the Kickstarter, which was always a guess. However, we were really pushing ourselves as hard as possible to see if we could make that delivery date. Unfortunately, that hasn't been possible. So, what else can I tell you? For those of you who ordered a copy of the limited edition Kickstarter poster, the vendor here in Dublin that we're working with on doing the screen printing, they have also been forced to close temporarily because of COVID-19. We don't know exactly when they are going to be able to reopen to complete that work. We're waiting on guidance from the Irish government for that. And we were just a few days, I think we were just 3 days from starting that printing on the poster when the closure orders came through. So that was a little bit unfortunate to be that close to printing those posters and then to have to delay it. Likewise, the box that the Gravelord Servant edition is going to be housed in, that is also temporarily on hold because our carpenter is not able to get some of the joinery and engraving components completed because he relies on third-party vendors for those. So it's unfortunate, but we will get that production of those back online as quickly as possible. And all of this just shows how interconnected the world is, and nothing of any significant complexity is created by a single individual. There's such a web of cooperative elements working together to make any of these things happen. So let's just take a moment to be reminded of how miraculous that is, that it works ever. Unfortunately, it's not working as well right now. All right, so that is all for this update. I will get back to you as soon as I know when the cloth editions are going to be with us, and we're very excited to start getting those out to backers. It's been a long time coming, and you have been so patient. I want to, well, on behalf of the entire team, I just want to let you know how much it means to us, the understanding that you've extended in terms of just the whole world, being upended a bit by what's been happening. I hope you're staying safe. That's obviously the paramount concern. However, second on the list of world concerns beneath safety, obviously getting this beautiful book to you is the second most important thing in the entire world. So we're gonna keep pushing to make that happen as quickly as possible. And thank you so much for being with us on what I was calling a journey up till now, but let's just call it a crazy ass roller coaster because that's sort of what it's become. All right, talk to you soon. Signing off, Jason Killingsworth. We love you all. Bye.